Now, the statistics are somewhat incredible. So there is $1.6 trillion of debt that is just related to student loans.
I'm not surprised. Because actually, when you look at the cost of American universities, and we think they're high here, American universities are mortgages, quite frankly, right?
Yeah, and people who have got really high-paying professional jobs are saddled with that debt for years and years and years and years. So Biden wanted to introduce a kind of loan forgiveness scheme that if you were earning under $125,000 a year, so £100,000 a year in UK terms, or $200,000 if you're married, you don't have to repay your loan. And then there were going to be limits on what colleges could do to hike fees in future, and how much of your salary could be taken out as a maximum of what you were earning. And that was all very popular.
Well, it was brought in just before the midterms, and it was so popular, it's credited, along with the overturning of Roe v. Wade and the Democrats' ability to actually campaign on free rights for women and abortion issues.
Which was last year's ruling.
It actually is credited with having really brought young people to the polls in the midterms and stopped the Republicans from making more gains than they were anticipating. But it's curious that this one was seen to be an abuse of power by the Supreme Court. And you can sort of, I suppose I'm going to say, I think it sounds like a great policy. If I was a student in America, I'd be all the way behind it.
What's not to like?
Right, what's not to like. But I can also see, I suppose, the window in which it becomes unconstitutional. Because as the court, says, it can argue, students knew that they had this debt, right? If you weren't a student and you had a debt somewhere else, how do you feel about that other debt? And the idea that executive powers are used to basically, we're always talking about the magic money tree. It was a magic money tree. And it wasn't all their debt, but I think it was $10,000 a student. If you can make $10,000 disappear, Joe Biden's thinking, that's all money that enters the economy. That then steamrollers people's spending and buying and going out and all the things that he wants to be able to say has got the engine of America working again. So you can see how, lovely as the policy was, the court had a bit of a problem with it.
You see, I want to be able to write executive orders for the future of the newsagents and what will happen and what won't happen. Wouldn't it be great if we could all write, if Rishi Sunak didn't have to bother with Parliament at all and just write an executive order?
Well, he did in COVID. So yeah. I suppose that's the point. During times of extreme measures, we understand extreme things are done. And in a way, isn't that what the executive order is for?
This has been a Global Player original podcast and a Persephonica production.